Hello there. Week 2 of January 2023 has been another wet one. And in fact, we're starting to see the signs of that out to the west. There's been some localised flooding. This was Carmarthenshire Thursday afternoon. And through northwest England and parts of Wales, some areas have already exceeded their monthly average rainfall totals. And we're not even halfway through the month yet.
And there is a picture of some serious flooding. Matt, talk us through where we are, what's been going on.
Indeed, this is South East Wales yesterday, just by Abergavenny. There's been flooding across other areas as well. And this morning currently stands at over 100 flood warnings in force across England, Wales and Scotland.
So not sure how the weather is where you are this morning, but in a lot of places it is very blustery and there's a lot of flooding. We'll talk to Matt in just a moment. But there's been consistent rain causing severe disruption across much of England. Also Wales as well. We're told there is more to come.
So it's been 3 years since Storm Dennis, and we knew the devastation caused by that, and many of the same parts of Wales, Pontypridd, areas of the Rhondda Valley, were affected by the rain, and elsewhere homes have been left without power, cars submerged.
Let's have a look at the situation in Worcester, also affected there. It's cricket ground becoming an extension of the River Severn. I mean, these images are very dramatic, aren't they? Drivers seen attempting to cross roads, getting into trouble. At Shrewsbury, heavy rain there this week means river levels now are continuing to rise.
Let's take you to the southwest of England as well. This was Exbridge, between Devon and Somerset yesterday. As you can see, driving seriously affected. Fire crews have had to rescue people who couldn't make their way through. And of course, the advice is if you do not have to travel, don't. And if there is flooding, it is not safe to take your vehicle out in this.
So, Matt, I know you've been looking at some of those pictures as well. I mean, those images from yesterday, and I see that there's another shot from Shropshire. I mean, some of these places we're mentioning are quite often affected by flooding, aren't they? But this is a recurrence of something we've seen many times before.
They are indeed, yeah. There's over 100 flood warnings in force at the moment. There's a number of spots actually across western parts of England and Wales that have had a month's worth of rain already in the 13th of January, so not even halfway through the month. It's just been a relentless spell, really, since the start of Christmas all the way through. And, of course, the ground gets saturated, you get next rain band, and just subsequent rain bands that we're seeing just tend to add up. And yesterday, Cardiff had its third wettest day on record. So it has been an incredible spell of very wet weather in these same sort of areas, Charlie.
Situations?
Situation is improving a little bit at the moment, but it does look like things could get a bit worse for one or two. So we'll probably have to get used to scenes like this over the next few days still. But there are signs that things will turn a little bit drier for a bit longer as we head through the second half of this weekend. Now, if I just step out and show you the satellite imagery from the moment, out in the mid-Atlantic, this is the next band of cloud which will bring more rain spilling its way in as we go through tonight, tomorrow. And that colder air is going to push to all areas as we go through Saturday night into Sunday and beyond. So a marked change in weather conditions. We're stopping the flow from the Atlantic. We're bringing it down from the Arctic instead. So we're not going to see as extensive rainfall, but as things turn colder, frost will become an issue. And yes, there will be a few snow showers for 1 or 2 as well.
Matt, thanks very much. Sorry for leaving you hanging earlier a little bit there. We were just discussing, actually, about these flood warnings. And I suppose thinking about, 100 flood warnings today, I know it's going to ease, but this is winter, isn't it? I mean, is this still... This is now just becoming typical weather for January and February?
It is winter. January is the 4th wettest month annually, so we do expect these wetter spells. I think the problem is we've just had relentless. It has been relentless. It's all been caused by the big temperature contrast we've seen over the United States, and that has just fed one low pressure after another, after another, after another. And when you get that mounting up, that's when you get the problems that we're seeing at the moment.
I'm going to ask which is the wettest month, which is probably obvious. Am I thinking springtime?
No, it's November, actually. October, November time.
Didn't know that. Matt, thank you. Font of all knowledge. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, I tell you what, Matt, I know you were looking, as we were earlier on, at some of those flooding pictures, some of the vehicles being caught up, because things can change very quickly. We're talking about alongside the River Severn, for example. It can be a matter of minutes, can't it? And roads can get flooded.
It can, and you've got to be always wary that even though the rain stops, all that water you've seen over the past few days has to get through the river system. So the rivers could continue to rise further and further downstream, even when you've had several days of dry weather. So it is a case of keep a watching brief, keep across all the latest details from the Environment Agency, Natural Resource Wales and the Scottish Environment Protection Agency. They will have all the latest flood warnings for you as well. But I think the main theme is, unlike there, don't drive into floods if you can. It is very, very dangerous indeed. And there could be more to come over the next few days, especially as we see that rain through tonight and into tomorrow. Horrendous scenes, as you can see there, over the past 24 hours.
Yeah, those vehicles trapped in the flooding there. I've been looking, Matt, as I've been looking at your picture behind you, and this is Shropshire, and I see on the sign there's a swimming centre in that direction and also a children's play area.
Probably out of bounds at the moment, though, to be honest, Charlie. I would have guessed, but yeah, this was seen in Shropshire yesterday. Flooding is a big issue for some parts of Wales and England at the moment, especially. There's over 100 flood warnings in force right now. All the details on the BBC Weather website. Last thing you want to know, there's more rain to come, but there is more widespread rain to come tonight.
Yeah, no need for you, Matt. We've had Mike do the job.
Always doing the weather before me. Tell you something, though, Northern India starts to get much colder than normal over the next few days. So they'll be feeling the chill. Here we've been feeling the rain, of course. Big impacts from that. Over 100 flood warnings in force. River levels dropping a little bit now, as you can see here in parts of mid-Wales. But there's still those flood warnings out. The details that are on the BBC Weather website. And it's understandable why we've seen such flooding problems over the last few days. Just take a look at all these spaces here across Western England and Wales that have experienced more than their usual rainfall for the entire month in just the first 12 days. Now, I always try to find a little bit of positive out of things. I'm going to take you back now to the summer. This was Buell Reservoir in Kent, the largest open water reservoir in the southeast. Notice how the levels had dropped. Very concerned about water supplies, but the rainfall we've seen since November have seen them bounce back quite markedly. The purple is the current conditions. You can see how they have jumped up from near record lows to above average. So the rainfall has been helpful, which is scant comfort, though, to those who have been experiencing flooding, and not great news in that there is more rain to come. Next 36 hours, our rainfall chart shows how those darker colours mounting up in the west. This is where we could see again another inch to 2 inches, 25 to 50 millimetres of rain. River levels will rise again as we go through Saturday. Temperatures here starting to drop, and they will drop further as we go into the weekend, further into the weekend and Sunday. We cut off that supply of rain-bearing low-pressure systems for a while from the Atlantic, but it does mean Sunday onwards, Naga and Charlie, much colder, widespread frost by night, and we'll see some sleet and snow showers around as well. I'll take you through all of that tomorrow from 6. Back to you both.
Matt, thanks so much. We're seeing you tomorrow.
You are indeed. I'll see you then.
Excellent. See you then. Take care.